When you got your
Are y'all engaged? No.
No.
No, we're just cruising right now. Day by day.
Day by day.
Day by day, baby.
Slowly drifting.
Show his hands.
Drifting
Can you show your
over-
hands?
They're covered in hydraulic fluid, but yeah.
Look at how cute his hands are.
My nails could also probably use some maintenance.
No, you take care of your nails. He doesn't chew them either. Look, guys, doesn't chew
I think
them.
I'm just a really good nail biter.
You're not. You're not. People are like, oh yeah, he's tall. Yeah, he's tall. ¿De qué parte de Puerto Rico es?
Oh God, is this a Puerto Rican asking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you know, Guaynabo.
He doesn't want you to judge him. He's super hairy. That's how I love them.
It's a permanent sweater.
Real men have hair. Guaynabito.
Yeah.
Guaynabito, who's taller? Billy.
Yeah.
I can actually wear my big heels. I'm 5'9". I could wear my big heels with him and he's still taller. So
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
But you're still taller.
Yeah.
And he loves it when I wear my big heels because he just likes me looking like a basketball player. This freckle pen is from Amazon. It's $8. You just search up Amazon freckle pen. How's it like living with Mia?
It is very easy. She likes to like clean up and shit, so whenever I get back, it's everything's really nice. She requires space when she's working, which I have a hard time providing.
Yeah.
Because I'm very like hyper and like.
And very affectionate physically.
Yeah, very very physically affectionate. I guess we can put it that way.
If he comes back from work and I'm still working, and I'm just on my laptop, if I'm just on my iPad editing, he looks at me, he's like, Mia, I require a little bit of attention. In order for me to believe that you still like me, I'm gonna need you to like lay on me or something.
Yeah.
And give me many hugs and kisses so I feel loved.
I mean, I won't say it like that, but
that's basically.
But that's the idea, I guess.
But that's you're like, whoa, I'm not a pussy.
Relax.
I'm not a pussy. Relax. Is Mia anything like her character?
No, not at all. Honestly.
How would you describe me compared to my character?
Mia is incredibly low maintenance. She's the most low maintenance like person I've ever been with. And like I was a little scared when I first met her. Like her character seems like, an heiress, like but she's very low maintenance, very simple. Yeah. Hard worker,
People want you to elaborate on low maintenance because there's different aspects of low maintenance.
What are the different aspects of low maintenance?
Like low maintenance could also be like I could just wake up in the morning and like do anything and like not want to get ready and like.
Well, you don't wake up in the morning. That's number one.
Sorry, who's your character? My character is a sugar baby. How tall is he? How tall are you, Billy?
I think I'm a hard 6 feet.
I would say like you're 6.5.
Yeah, let's call it a hard 6.
Because you're not much shorter than your dad, and he's a hard 6'1".
He's at 6'1", 6'2", yeah.
Yeah, like he's more 6'2". You're right.
Yeah.
What's my ethnicity? I'm Hispanic. Oh, we should tell them the weird family connection that we had, that we found out later. So my family heard that I was dating someone new, and my mom was freaked out because I had moved in with him only 2 days of knowing him. So obviously she was very concerned. And it wasn't until my family called me to ask me questions about him and I said his name. I said his name is Billy, last name, Toast. And my grandmother was like, I know that name. And I was like, how do you know that name? He's like, he doesn't live in Miami. Like, he's from Puerto Rico. Like, how do you know that name, abuela? My grandmother's Cuban. And she was like, I knew his great-grandparents. I knew his grandparents. His grandpa was friends with me when he was alive and living in the same apartment building. We were friends. I knew his grandmother, obviously, that we were friends. I went to this wedding, I think it was your grandparents?
Yeah.
She went to his grandparents' wedding. In Cuba, his family rented a house from my family in Cuba back in the day, and we didn't know this. Like, literally, it wasn't until I told my grandma his name that she realized that she knew his entire family in that way. Also, the crazy part is, do you guys remember when I was like on the beach a lot? I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, because I'm very active on Instagram and stuff, but there was a while that I was living in a beach house and just living in a bikini, and that's all I was doing. That beach house is a tiny studio beach house, and like it's in a row of other beach houses. The beach house directly across from my grandfather's beach house belonged to his grandfather. And you did July 4th there, no?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
When he was a kid, he would do the 4th of July there, and that's like the biggest party that we have in that like condominium. Like everyone brings their kids because it's on the beach, so you can see the fireworks and all of that stuff. I went to July 4th, to all of the July 4th parties in that building, and the kids that lived in those beach houses would play in the middle plot of grass.
Yeah.
Do you remember ever like playing with random kids?
Yeah.
So my cousins are his age and would always find like boys that were similar in age and just like talk, run around, or even be in like the same vicinity as them, and I would follow them because they were in charge of keeping me safe. So there was a possibility that we were very close to each other at a certain point of our childhood, like literally across from each other, which is crazy because he doesn't live in Miami. He hadn't been to Miami since he was 15 years old. He is born and raised in Puerto Rico, had moved to Chicago, Connecticut, and like New York when he was an adult. Like I was still in Miami, and we end up meeting in Colombia because one of my friends was dating one of his friends, and they had moved to Colombia together and decided to invite some of their American friends to celebrate their respective birthdays in a foreign country and have a really cool experience. Fate exists, not shocking to me. Well, this is meant to be. We're meant to be.
Wow.
I told him that he was my
Lovely.
I think I told you were my soulmate.
Yeah?
Like 3 days in. And you were like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then I was like, you don't want to be my soulmate? That's fine. Billy was playing hard to get. He didn't want to admit that he was in love with me.
I mean, I think I admitted it pretty early, and I was like, oh. Might have taken a couple vodkas, but I definitely admitted it.
Like, it took a week. It took a long-ass time.
Couple vodkas, you know.
Does Billy know how to cook? Yes.
I can, but I don't know how to wash dishes, so I never cook.
That's why you have me. Dish, wash, her.
Wow. I don't think I'm ever gonna pull that, but
I'm always like, Billy, I'm so sorry the house is a mess, I'll clean it. He's like, I don't give a shit. You don't have to clean this place if you don't want to. We could just hire a maid. And I'm like, no. A maid? You're a queen. Keep her, Billy, please. Do you both speak Spanish? Yes. I'm Cuban and he's Puerto Rican, but if you go further back enough, half of his family is also Cuban, and that's how our families know each other. Does he cook Puerto Rican food?
I can. I can if I have to.
What is your favorite thing to cook for yourself if someone told you, like, you can have a last meal, but you're going to have to cook it yourself?
Air fryer steak. For sure.
Air fryer steak?
Yeah.
But that's not Puerto Rican.
You take a frozen ribeye. I don't care if it's not Puerto Rican. There's cows in Puerto Rico. You can get a ribeye.
But it's not necessarily Puerto Rican food.
So you take a ribeye, a frozen ribeye, and it has to be frozen if you want the inside to be raw when you're done with it, you know? Like Pittsburgh style. Charred on the outside, raw on the inside, throw it in the air fryer on the hottest possible, you know, setting. And you just let that thing cook. But it still has to be bleeding when it's done. And yeah, air fryer, some white rice. I'm a simple guy.
How did you feel when, because I moved in so quickly?
I was super bored. Like, I've lived with roommates my whole life, so I was super happy. I was like, great. I'm gonna be entertained all the time now.
When did we move in together?
Like date, or like
explain to them like how quickly we basically.
So, we knew each other for 4 days. 4 days before, and she was like, hey, maybe I'll drop by Tampa and come hang out for a while. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I told her she should stay for the weekend, and then for next week, and then I just kind of extended till her living here, bringing all her shit in. And I was like, awesome, you know.
He literally was like, you see this closet? You could just take my shit and just stuff it in a corner and take it.
I only wear black t-shirts.
Yeah, simple guy.
I own like 5 pants, 5 t-shirts, and that's just kind of all I need.
Did you like him right away? The second I saw him, I really liked him. The second I saw him.
I was also going off that weekend. Like, I was just like on a high, you know.
Whatever you did amazing.
Yeah, I was just like, I was having a good time.
Was it love at first sight? Well,
she was dressed like a space cowgirl when I first met her, so I was like, that's pretty cool. Very, really showing off her assets, let's put it that way.
Showing off my assets. Yeah, I was wearing like a shirt and these puppies were out.
And then Mia knows she's got blue eyes, so she's always like opening her eyes as wide as possible and she's staring at you, like, you know. So, you know, I was in pretty quick.
I was hitting him with the eyes and he wasn't staring at me. He was looking at the floor. And you guys want to hear how we okay, so basically we met that day. He didn't make eye contact with me. We went back to the hotel because we needed to get ready to go to dinner. And I obviously went to my room to get ready. He basically changed shirts because he's a boy. And we all went downstairs. And it went from him like barely talking to me, barely looking at me. I got ready, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna make myself look so good because I hate the fact that this guy is not looking at me because I've decided I want him and he does not want me, which is pissing me off. So I made myself look really good, and I'm like, I'm gonna wear pink. I'm gonna make sure that my hair is nicely curled. I'm gonna do my makeup. I only got my hair done that day at the mall because I knew you were coming.
Wow.
By the way,
I threw on a fresh black t-shirt, put some water in my hair.
You did not wear a black t-shirt. You wore your white Kalashnikov shirt.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I put on a fresh white t-shirt. Some water in my hair, make it look like I took a shower. I didn't have any cologne on me, so I put some deodorant on my wrists. And then I went out for it.
Do you see what us girls have to go through? And meanwhile, I was like dry shampooing my hair, adding product, fake lashes, lip liner, fake freckles, foundation. I was setting my face in case he wanted to kiss me and so it wouldn't go away. And then I went downstairs after it was time for us to get our bearings and go to this restaurant. And then he was just like, oh, you clean up nicely. And I was like, we're making progress. He has acknowledged me and my effort. So then we all walk to this restaurant. We walk together, we sit down, we eat. And then me and him were sitting across the table from each other, diagonally. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. So we're obviously talking, the whole group is talking at this table. And then we start talking about astrology.
Yeah.
Which I don't know anything about astrology, but they say that Taurus and Sagittarius do not go together at all. It is not a thing that should be allowed. That's the rule for my sign in astrology. Do not get with a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a lot better at being a friend than being anything else. So, I told him, oh, you're a Sagittarius? According to astrology, we have to, we're not compatible at all. So you stay away from me, sir. I was joking. And then you were just like, that's not gonna happen. He just literally went from not flirting with me at all, not really acknowledging that I exist, not caring about anything or whatever, to me being well, you stay away from me, sir, because you're a Sagittarius, you're bad news. And then he goes, yeah, I don't think that that's really gonna happen. So and part of me was like, correct answer.
And then I moved to quickly love bombing.
You did love bomb me a lot.
Yeah.
But is it love bombing if you still do the same thing?
I don't know. I think I just let go a little.
I don't think so. Because you're very physically affectionate. The most physically affectionate person I think I've ever met. And I'm very physically affectionate as well. We have the same love languages, which is quality time and physical touch. It's real love if he's still doing it. Yeah, he still tells me I'm the prettiest girl he's ever seen. So he's still lying to me. What are we gonna do, right?
What are you gonna do?
Sagittarius, they love their freedom so much that they don't commit. Okay, so that is the general conception of the sign, whatever. I'm not really that much of an astrology buff, but my friend Blair is, and she reads entire birth charts, and she's always really spot on. I sent Blair his chart, and she said that according to our charts, we're actually extremely compatible because of everything else. Why are you avoiding showing him? I'm not. He's being a little camera shy right now. He's not a shy guy, but he's a little shy. He doesn't even want to dip in, dip out. It's okay. It's fine. Did he know about your social media before?
Nope.
No, he did not know. Anyway, yeah, so he went on to love bombing me, and we were at a bar. From dinner, he was like, hey, I have a friend that's at a bar. Let's go to this bar. We go to this bar, and we're all sitting down, and then he was like, I'm going to go get drinks for everyone. Do you want to come with me? And in my mind, I'm like, of course I want to come with you. I want to be next to you for the entire night. So we went to this bar, and then that's when he starts spitting game with me. As soon as he separates me from the entire group, he starts spitting a little bit of game. He grabs my chin area. You grab my jaw, and then you were just like talking to me as like your hand is like here. So then I'm just like, shit's about to go down, obviously. Demonstrate. Give me your hand. Look at how gorgeous this hand is. Of course, if it's on my face like this, I'm done. Look at how manly this hand is. Look at how dainty my face is.
Oh, it's so hairy. It looks like I have skin gloves.
So he basically grabs my face and leans in to kiss me, but then my friend walks up behind us, so then we both kind of like lean away, and she rapidly turns around to pretend like she didn't see anything and she didn't actually mean to come talk to us, that we could resume whatever we're doing. We're just like, no, it's fine. We talk to her, she goes back to the table, and then I was here thinking like, damn, like we blew it, like the moment's gone, but he wasn't gonna let the moment be gone. Obviously, he's a man. We smooch. Should we tell him about the spit in my...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're basically like kissing at this bar. There's a lot of fans at this bar too, so you guys are like looking at me like, what are you doing? Because like I didn't even give a shit. I knew that there were so many girls in Colombia just staring at me because they're like, is that so-and-so from TikTok? And I'm just here with this guy that I just met, just like hooking up at this bar. I didn't give a crap. I was just like, this is what I want, so I'm gonna go for it. I'm hooking up. You guys are coming up to me like, hey queen, and I'm just like, hey, love you guys so much. I'm a little busy trying to hypnotize this man real quick, so don't judge me. And you guys didn't judge me. You were like, you guys do you. And then we went downstairs to go call a taxi because we were gonna go dancing. We were gonna go to like a Colombian club, go dancing a little bit. And we were gonna go dancing, and this is gonna sound really kinky. Or maybe not kinky, maybe just tasteful, but I was obviously very lit, and I was feeling very raunchy and like a little bit confident because obviously the guy I had a crush on just confirmed that he liked me back by hooking up with me the entire night, and I was a little bit worried about whether or not he thought I was pretty or not. Like whether or not he was blind or not. And we go downstairs and we're waiting for this taxi, and there's a lot of people like standing around us, like literally like our friend group was standing like behind us a little bit, like we're waiting for this taxi, and then he's just looking at me and he's just talking to me, and then I'm just like, spit in my mouth. I'm gonna wait for
Yo, you downstairs? Alright.
He's here?
No, 10 minutes.
10 minutes? I told him to spit in my mouth, and what did you say?
I just spit in your mouth? I wasn't gonna question that. That was some good foreshadowing, you know?
What? People are fucking dying. They're like, you're crazy.
Someone asks you to spit in your mouth, you spit in their mouth.
Ew, why? Because I like it. I love you, but red flag, are you okay? No. Am I okay? So he did that. I'm crying because that's definitely your soulmate. Some people like that. I told him to spit in my mouth. I didn't even like getting my mouth spit in before that, okay? Because I thought everyone's mouth was gross. But I like his mouth. I want to just crawl into it and sit in it. I think he's got a pretty mouth. He's got the prettiest lips I've ever seen on a dude. Wait, can you hide your face and at least show your lips? So they can get it. So they can get it. You have the prettiest lips I've ever seen. Literally, I tell you that every single day.
Alright, fuck it, just do it.
Okay. Sorry that the apartment's a mess. I'm a mess. You guys want to see him? You guys want to see his beautiful lips? The apartment's a mess.
Is this over?
No. Okay, you're right. He's got the prettiest mouth in the... Okay, you're right, but still, Mia, are you okay? So then him with his beautiful plump lips, it looks like he's got... did you get lipstick on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he always goes like, moisturized. Yeah, so then he picks me up to impress me. But he's never carried me again. That's a lie. He's carried me one more time. Maybe when he's really drunk he does it, but it was raining in Medellin and I had sandals on, so my feet were gonna get all wet. He was wearing the same sneakers that he likes to wear every single day. And after he spat in my mouth, as we discussed, he scooped me up and picked me up and walked me to the next bar, which was like 3 blocks away, so I didn't get wet. Queens should be carried on a daily basis. They agree that was a good thing.
Sweet.
That was a good thing. Mia, stop. You found your soulmate. We're just having a girls' moment. Daddy vibes. Daddy vibes. Yeah, and then, we went dancing all night. We went back to the hotel room, decided that it was a waste for us to have our own room. The rest is history. Who initiated the first kiss when you first met?
Me?
You. I wasn't gonna do it. I was already flirting hard enough.
Yeah. I thought I did all the work.
You did not do all the work. I got ready.
I was going off that day. I did good.
You did do good. You guys have any questions for him? Anything? He's literally only got 5 minutes left before he needs to go to work. It's the queen energy and treatment for me. He treats me amazing. You guys don't need to play hardball on him, okay? I just joined. Can I please see him? You missed it. How long have you been dating? This is the same question. 3 months. What do I like about Billy? I like everything about Billy. Billy's funny, Billy's sweet, Billy's kind. I think he's hot. And he is awesome. Does he help you record content?
What do you mean by help?
Like, do you ever record me for my content?
Oh yeah, I'm not a pictures person or anything, but now she's like, oh, follow me around, and then she'll do some twirls and shit. And then somehow that's edited into a really cool video. I still don't get it, but she'll just smile and turn around, hop or something.
Hop? Hop?
Flip her hair.
Does Mia get annoyed easily or have an attitude with you?
Not really. I know how to annoy her, but she does not get easily annoyed. Sometimes I'll get a little too touchy, or I'll just lay on her randomly while she's on her iPad editing shit. And then she'll be like, dude, I'm working. The thing is, I have to play a little bit hardball because I get easily distracted and I know I really do have to work. I'm really behind on content and stuff. I love how physically affectionate he is. We're big huggers. We hug all the time, as we're hugging right now. Don't look at the mess in my apartment. That's not real. This is a green screen. Have you two met each other's family? Yeah.
Yeah.
You've stayed at my house already. I stayed at yours.
Yeah. We've done that whole thing. I've met his sisters. He's met my brothers. So
Very
like
well.
literally like the whole fam. What's his favorite thing about you?
My favorite thing about Mia. So many things. What can I answer?
You better answer with your favorite thing about me.
Like emotionally, what's my favorite aspect of you?
You should do emotionally and then physically to inflate my ego.
Okay.
I want to hear, so I can get like more compliments.
Emotionally, you're very patient and understanding
Aww.
of me, you know? Like, I can be myself around Mia DIO. Physically, I mean, like,
You can be honest.
there's eyes, lips, boobs, ass, you know, I like all of it, so. Both lips. So really everything, the full package. Great full package.
What house are you guys spending Thanksgiving at?
Alright, I have to go down.
That's fine.
It's up to you to decide.
Up to me to decide?
The house.
I guess we'll figure it out.
Yep. Alright, bye y'all.
Oh, he did not.
What?
They're talking about the lips comment. They're like, oh, he did not. Love you.
Love you too.
I'll see you later, babe. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
Love to watch you walk away.
Love to watch you walk away in them jeans, baby.
Alright.
Look at that ass. Jesus. Yeah, look at you. Bye, I love you. See you
Bye.
later. And he's gone. There you go. You guys got to talk. You guys got to talk to my boyfriend. What's this in my arm? This is a nicotine patch. I'm still going through withdrawals because I went a step down. I'm thinking about making this harder for myself, so I decided to, since I'm weaning my way off of nicotine, I don't suffer from anxiety, but my withdrawals have been giving me terrible anxiety. Something that helps is breath work. So, because the withdrawals, since it does give you anxiety, I feel something sitting on my chest right here. And I just breathe, try to let it pass. I'm trying to quit smoking. I got Billy to quit smoking as well. Did he lock the door? He didn't lock the door because we only have one set of keys to the apartment because I moved in randomly and I've only been here for 3 months. And they won't give us another key unless I sign the lease, which I did sign the lease, but apparently it takes multiple months for them to do a background check on someone apparently. So they haven't given me my things. So he doesn't lock the door because I'm here and I'm gonna go lock the door. And we live in a very safe building and stuff, so make a copy. I know, but I'm lazy. Like, I'm here all the time. And if I'm not, then I'm nearby. So, and I know what time he's getting off of work. And I'm always excited when he gets off of work. So obviously I'm gonna come home when he's getting off of work because we spend all day together. The only reason why he loves work, he loves going to work, he loves working, but he says that the one thing that sucks about him working is that we can't hang out. He's been trying to get me since, like, he technically is the manager of, like, the recycling plant that he works at. Him and his friend, well, because they're friends because they work together, but also they just became best friends. They're both the managers of the recycling plant. He literally told me, like, why don't you just come to the recycling plant and edit here? You know, you could sit in my office and just edit. And so, like, I can just, like, pop in and say hi and give you a kiss and, like, leave. Because he doesn't ever want to be apart. The thing is, he's very codependent, and so am I, in the sense that, like, when I date someone, like, I want to spend the most time possible with them, but it's mostly because I have the type of personality, and he's got the same type of personality, where it's just, like, we never fight, and it's more like we're constantly hanging out as friends, so it's kind of like when he leaves, it's just like your best friend leaving, and, like, you're waiting for them to come home. It's good to have some space. Yeah, I know. Like, I have to travel for work and stuff, and he can't come because he can't miss work because he's the manager. But, like, it sucks every single time we have to be apart. Like, because then we realize, like, how much we miss each other. I went to Los Angeles for only 2.5 days to get my hair done. And We were like texting all day. I was like, aren't you supposed to be working? He's like, yeah, but like I miss you, and like when I come home you're not gonna be home, and like the dog's not gonna be home when you come home, so it's gonna be like sad. And I was like, he's like, it's like a shell of a house, like where are you? Are you sure he's at work? Because it's kind of sus that he loves his job that much. It's not sus at all that he loves his job that much. He technically works for a Swedish hedge fund. He's a direct employee of the Swedish hedge fund. And what they invest in is recycling plants. The Swedes have invested in the United States on recycling and green solutions as far as waste goes, because we obviously have a major crisis in this country as far as recycling goes and all of that stuff. Plus there's really good money in recycling if you know how to do it right, because you basically take all of these products and this is how recycling works. Paper, plastic, like water bottles and stuff like that. They're processed, they're sorted, and then they're squeezed into these bales, like blocks of the same material. If it's the plastic bottle, it's the same plastic bottle. If it's a paper, it has to be the same type of paper. There's different types of plastics that can be recycled too. Like pill bottles are a different type of plastic. These are medical grade plastic, whereas water bottle is a different type of plastic. So you basically compile all of these materials into bales that you squeeze into blocks, and you sell them normally to China, which is where they produce the majority of these plastic goods, and they pay for the plastic, which is then how it really gets recycled. It gets sent to China or a place that are buying it. Like they have clients in China, they have clients, it's mostly Asia, but they have like a couple in Europe as well that buy these large bulks of plastics and papers and metals. And then they take that material and build the next product, and then that's how you get recycled goods. It's not the plants themselves that are recycling the things, they just sort and bale and put it in a way so that buyers can buy the material from them. So you guys are mad that he's the manager, not the CEO. Well then, something that Billy will never admit is that his family owns the majority of the recycling plants in Puerto Rico, and the reason why he's working in the United States is so that he can learn how to run the company and then go help his dad out, who is the CEO of all of the recycling plants down the line. But since they wanted him to learn responsibility and learn how to run a company from start to finish and develop his own style of leadership, they sent him to the United States to work on his own and figure things out for himself. He can wear hats and tees to work. Yes, he is the manager. So he's employed directly by this hedge fund, and his plant profits around $1 million a month. Before he was moved to Tampa to work in this plant, the plant was averaging $250,000. So they're very happy with him, and he actually loves his job because since he was a kid, this is what his dad's done for a living, and he wants to do this for a living. So, and his bosses obviously know his father very well. His boss, the one that actually works for the hedge fund, told him that when he retires, he wants to work for Billy when he moves to Puerto Rico and starts working recycling by himself, and he wants to be his advisor. So that's why he can wear hats and tees to work, because he's not flashy. He wears the same things that's what I love about him too, that he's so modest in the way that he just like presents himself. But he's just like, there's no reason for me to dress up for work if my numbers are proving that I can just show up to work however I can and provide the value that I do, and then I can just go home. No one can judge me. He was like, in the beginning they were judging me. They were saying that I needed to dress up a little bit more, I needed to look a little bit more like a manager, but he was like, at the end of the day, my employees are showing up in boots, in jeans, in raggedy t-shirts, because like they're obviously dealing with like liquids and garbage and like oil from the machines and stuff like that. He won't even take his own car to the office. He's like, how are people going to take me seriously as their boss if I'm too worried about presenting a certain way? He's like, I'm not insecure in the way that I present myself. I already have the respect of my employees, and they almost respect me more for wanting to present as a normal guy who just gets their struggle and like will be understanding and is here to like help solve their needs and increase productivity. hedge fund manager. Oh no, girly, he's not a hedge fund manager. He manages one of the investment assets of the hedge fund. But as soon as he's done implementing all of the softwares that they sent him to and changing everything, then they're going to move him to Utah. So that means that I'm going to be moving to Utah sometime in the next year, which is going to be a little bit difficult for me because at least here in Tampa, I'm close to my family. I'm only a 30-minute flight away from my family. I'm actually going back tomorrow morning because it's my dad's birthday and Billy's staying here. And then over the weekend, he's going back to Puerto Rico while I'm going to be in Miami because I have an event to attend. And his best friend's getting married. And so he's going to take the boat out because he's the only one of his friends that has a captain's license. And his friend just wants to go spearfishing. And Billy's the only one with a captain's license. So of course he's like, I didn't really want to go to the bachelor party that much because it's all the way in Puerto Rico and we just came back from Puerto Rico. But I'm going to do it because like obviously the whole trip revolves around my captain's license because we don't want to hire a captain because they're going to be doing degenerate things on this boat and they don't want a captain to witness this. So yeah, plus if someone were to throw up, it's a lot better if you like throw up on your own boat than a rented boat because then there's cleanup fees and all of that stuff and they're for sure going to... Billy is going to be sober, but his friends are going to be drunk, so... That's amazing and sounds absolutely solid. No need to show out or prove yourself. # boss moves. Like, his dad is extremely successful, but he goes to the office in a t-shirt, jeans, sneakers, and he's got a car that he uses for day-to-day travel, and it's a car that literally anyone can afford. Sure, you go back home and there's different cars there and there's a different lifestyle and all of that stuff, but one thing that I did learn from his family as someone who used to be very flashy to try to show my importance or show my success is that money talks but wealth whispers. You don't need to be flashy, you don't need to call that much attention to yourself for people to actually take you seriously, because if you're good at what you do and you have that work ethic and you know that you provide value, it doesn't matter how you present yourself. People that are rich never show it. I agree, I've seen it. I've seen that. People that are actually rich, they don't show it. They have no need. Why? For other people? No. That's the difference between old money and new money. Old money isn't flashy. Okay, so despite me having a story where I struggled financially to pay my bills, and money wasn't like something that I could just have access to, and then that's kind of why I was in such shitty work situations before. You know, I was employed by a real estate developer who sexually harassed me for about a year, who would make comments about my boobs, would try to get me a loan. He got me drunk a couple of times. He made me work on Thanksgiving, and he took me to a cafe where he just like had me keep drinking until I was too drunk to drive home, so he would have to drive me home because he knew I didn't have money for the Uber, and he didn't even offer like that was like my old boss, right? And to think that I didn't have the money to get out of that situation, it was mostly because I have this pride thing of proving myself, because if we're going to be honest, it's not that I grew up with money, but my grandfather, despite being an immigrant from Cuba, like a political refugee, didn't have any money. He did become very successful, my grandfather. My family's business is concrete. We're actually massive in Miami. My family themselves, they have a lot of money. But let me explain to you why I didn't have money. My grandfather had money, my uncle had money, and my older brother had money because they started this family business together, and they invested everything and they worked their asses off, and they built this. They've built this company. It's been open for like 30 years. They've been working hard at it. I have an older brother that's like in his late 40s. But my mom, despite being my grandfather's daughter, she married for love, and she married my dad, who was a single widowed dad of 3 kids, who didn't have American papers yet. He had like a work visa, and that was it. He lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 kids, and they had the bedroom and he would sleep on the couch, and it was infested. My mom obviously was a little bit more comfortable, but she loved my dad so much that she didn't care. Their first date was to McDonald's because he couldn't afford for anyone to take care of the kids, and he couldn't afford to feed everyone on that date, and he didn't want my mom paying for the date. So he took his car to McDonald's with my mom in the car, his three kids in the back of the car, and his car broke down on the way to McDonald's, so they couldn't even go to McDonald's. They left the car there. They all walked on the sidewalk to McDonald's. They got McDonald's. They came back to the car that was broken down, sit down, ate, and waited for the tow that he couldn't even pay for. Those are my parents. So despite my family having money, those are my parents. And my mom didn't work. My mom stayed back to take care of his 3 kids so he could finally work the full hours that he needed to in order to get a little bit more on his feet. And and then my mom had her own kids. So my mom has raised 6 kids in her life. When she married my dad, she was 22 years old and taking care of 3 kids. My mom is, I would say, one of the best moms in the world, in the sense that there's nothing wrong with the moms that like go after their own careers and stuff like that, but my mom's career is being a mom, and she's always said that. She was like, a lot of people are good at other things. People are good at math. Mia, you're good at words and entertainment and talking and communication. I am good at love. So that is what I do. If I was smart enough to have been a nurse, I would have been a nurse, but I couldn't. My mom is dyslexic. She has issues reading and writing. I think she's dyslexic because she mixes a lot of B's and D's and Q's and G's, which is like a telltale sign of like dyslexia. But my mom also does speak 3 languages. So my mom says since love was her talent, she became a mother to raise children with something that she's noticed that was lacking, which was love. The love of a mother. The undying, unconditional love of a mother. So she took in 3 kids that weren't hers, raised them, gave them a mother, and then became mothers to us 3. That's exactly my mom too. Yes, my mom to this day, she says like, I understand that you're independent and you want your freedom and all of this stuff. And it's something that I give her a hard time on, but I'm trying to be a little bit more understanding, because the day that I become a mom, I'll probably be very similar to my mom in like how we love, because I have a dog, but that dog is strapped to me 24/7. I take him to the groomer regularly. I take him to the dentist once a month. Like, his shots are always updated. I have socialization time where I like have a timer on my phone and I go down to make sure, like if I'm like that with a dog, a low maintenance fluffy dog, imagine how I'm gonna be with a kid, because that's honestly what I know. Awesome. Love is so vital for all of humanity. Despite me having like mental health issues with depression and stuff like that, it doesn't stem from my family life, because my family life, and I'm not like ashamed to say it, because I feel like a lot of people are ashamed to call out their privilege. But I'm not ashamed to call out my privilege, because me talking about how this situation has benefited me can probably help the next generation of parents be like, this is what I need to do in order to provide like a good household for my kids. I may have mental health issues. All of those things stemmed from childhood bullying, and I've understood that, and also like failed relationships. I've been in a couple of abusive relationships. Some people think that maybe I have daddy issues because I've been in so many abusive relationships, but that's not true. I feel like I don't have daddy issues. I was just seeking a partner that reminded me of what my dad is to me, because my dad is dependable. My dad, I can call him, and if I have a problem, he'll listen. My dad, if I need help moving something, he'll drop everything, bring his car, and help me move my things. If I'm crying, my dad will hug me, and he says, we don't even have to talk about it. Just, my dad, despite not being my biological father, he's my stepdad technically, but because my parents had split and my mom had gotten pregnant before she realized that she wanted to get back with my dad. She got back with my dad. My dad realized that she was pregnant with another man's kid. And my mom was like, that's it. Like, I've ruined this. Like, I'm so sorry. When we were away, like when we were split up for 2 years, I had a boyfriend, and I guess now I'm pregnant. My dad loved my mom so much that he was like, your daughter is my daughter. The way that you raised my 3 kids, like your kids, and you didn't ask any questions, I'm gonna raise that one kid like my kid. We're now an extremely blended family, but we are a family nonetheless. So that's why my name is Mia. Mia in Spanish means mine. My mom wanted to give me the name Micaela, which is a Brazilian name that she really liked. My mom grew up in Brazil. She lived in Brazil the majority of her young life, like before she was an adult. And I'm gonna brush my hair as I talk to you guys because I do want to kind of fidget with my hands a little bit sorry guys, I'm quitting smoking. So since I'm quitting smoking, I have this thing where I constantly need to have something in my hand the same way I had a pack of cigarettes or a vape in my hand. So at least keeping my hands busy helps with the cravings because I'm honestly suffering right now with how much I want to smoke, but I'm not going to do it because I'm going to take care of myself. Yeah, minha mãe morou muitos anos em Brasil. Ela fala português perfeitamente. Eu não. Eu preciso aprender como falar português, mas eu entendo tudo. I don't know how I know Portuguese like this. I know it pretty well. It was mostly because, like, obviously since my mom grew up in Brazil and all of her siblings did as well, but they're also Cuban. They switch accidentally between English, Spanish, and Portuguese with like a flick of a second, like mid-sentence, they'll just switch languages. So I've kind of picked up on it, but I'm the only one out of my 13 cousins that picked up on Portuguese. And definitely the only one of my siblings that can kind of defend myself. Like, I've had Brazilian fans like visiting Miami, like tourists like from Brazil, come up to me and speak to me in straight Portuguese. And I may have had to ask a few of them to just slow it down just a little bit because when it's really fast, I get a little lost. But I can understand everything and respond in either Spanish or Portuñol, like a mix of Portuguese and Spanish. Like, I've met literally like 12 Brazilian fans from Brazil that were just on vacation in the United States or had just moved or something like that, and we've all been able to have a conversation in Portuguese. Amei! You love it? I'm glad. Speak Portuguese for us. The thing is, like, I don't even know how to really speak it, to be fair. Like, I know like a couple of words and I just kind of wing it because it's kind of similar enough to Spanish that if I make a mistake, you still can understand me. It's kind of like French and Creole where it's like different, but there's definitely some words that are the same. And yeah. Love from the Philippines. Hi, love from Tampa, Florida, which is where I'm at right now. But tomorrow morning I'll be in Miami celebrating my dad's 70th birthday. So yeah, anyway, my mom is honestly the best. My dad is the best. So if you guys are also the type of people that have had a healthy upbringing in the sense that you've had the family, you had stability and all of that stuff, but you still found yourself in shitty relationships, we can talk about this real quick because I've done a lot of thinking myself and trying to understand where this hurt comes from. And this hurt comes from a place when I went through a phase when I was younger that I was a bit of a tomboy. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I was definitely, I only wanted to wear boys' clothes because I didn't want to present like a girl. I wasn't trans, obviously, I'm a woman. But just part of me just like wanted to be more masculine. I thought that masculinity was just kind of part of me. I was masculine when I was little. I played video games, I played sports, I wore basketball shorts all of my childhood with sneakers and a big hoodie on top, like literally Billie Eilish vibes, but like I was a kid, like I wanted to dress like a boy. But then I realized that despite me dressing like a boy, I liked boys, and I liked boys a lot, but they didn't like me back because I didn't look feminine enough for them to think I was cute, you know what I mean? Like I just literally did everything in my power to look like a boy. Would cut my hair short, would wear hats, would wear hoodies and big pants and like all of that. So why is it that my family was stable and I had these issues was mostly because I was seeking the validation of men that I couldn't receive in my childhood, and I was constantly comparing myself to the girly girls despite me literally hating looking like a girl. Like, I didn't want to look like a girl. I wanted to be strong like my brothers. So in my mind, masculinity was strength. It wasn't until my adulthood that I realized that I can embrace my femininity, and femininity is strength as well. Strength is not something that is attached to a gender, is not attached to an identity. Strength is something that is attached to a spirit. And a spirit, in my opinion, has no gender. A spirit has no physical form. Your spirit is something that you just develop through time, right? So I guess since I was constantly getting rejected by the boys I liked, not rejected, like I never had the strength to tell a boy that I liked him. I would just be his best friend. So as someone who became best friends with the boys that I liked growing up and stuff, and I was always just one of the boys, and hearing them talk about how they talked about other women, I wanted them to like me. You know what I mean? Because I liked them. And presenting like a guy, honestly, like, really did make me happy. So I didn't let that go. It wasn't until further down, I switched schools, and I switched schools for one reason, and I actually told my parents the reason why I wanted to switch schools, and they only agreed because they were a little bit worried with how I was dressing and stuff, that they thought that maybe I was gonna have some gender identity issues. Like, my parents actually believed this. They were just a little bit like, maybe our daughter's gay, but like, I was like, Mom, I'm not gay, like, I like boys. So then that crossed that out for them. I was like, I'm not gay, I like boys, because they couldn't figure out why I was dressing like a boy. I had a lot of brothers, yes. My mom hated the way that I dressed, but she would let me because I explained to her, like, I like the way that I dress. This makes me feel safe, it makes me feel confident. And my dad would let me because obviously I didn't want to show skin or look cute, and I didn't look like a problem. So he was just like, let her dress however she wants. It wasn't until I became older that I picked up makeup, and it was because I switched schools. My school had known me as a tomboy who was funny. Yes, I was the funny kid in class. I was a tomboy, so all of the boys were my friends, basically. I also had friends that were girls, but one of us was a tomboy, the other one was the daughter of our Spanish teacher, so not many people liked her because our Spanish teacher was really strict, but like, she was cool as hell. And the other one was, she was like an animal freak, like a total Harry Potter head, animal freak, like loved animals, like had like 15 pets. And we were just like a very interesting group of friends that weren't popular. We weren't popular, but we didn't have problems with anyone, so people would still come up and talk to us. But the popular feminine mean girls were definitely mean, and I never really had that acceptance of a larger female crowd also, so that's also why I turned to men for comfort and friendship, because women were really mean, girls were really mean. God, these girls were so mean to me. Like, if I can tell you some of the stories of the shit that they would fill my locker up with literal garbage that they would get from like the dumpster and fill it up in my locker because I had holes in my everyone had holes in their locker, like little like breathing holes in the locker, and they would stuff garbage in it, so every time I would open it, like all this garbage would come out, and like there'd be like wet used toilet paper soaking on my books. Like, this is how kids treated me when I was younger. Like, this is how girls treated me when I was younger. When I was younger, girls would tell me the worst things ever. They said that I had the face of a man. Obviously, you guys are looking at my face and you're just like, you don't look like a man. But I had and have always had, and probably will always have, a very strong facial features. I have very high cheekbones, despite me having like a little bit of filler now. I swear I don't have that much filler. Like, if you look at my Instagram story, I literally posted a photo of the exact moment in time on my story. I hope it doesn't disappear right now. Of that moment in time, and my face looks very similar. Like, as a kid, I've always looked like this. So they would say that I was like a man because my jaw was very manly. They would say that my cheekbones were a man. Women would constantly say that I look like a man. I also developed late, not late, like I didn't have a chest. I have this now because I paid for it. I didn't have a butt. I still don't have one. My boyfriend says I have one. It's tiny, it's perky, but like whatever. He loves it. He tells me it's amazing. But I don't have one. Like, if we're gonna be honest, I didn't have a stereotypical feminine body. I don't have curves. I'm literally the same throughout. So people would make fun of the way that I presented because they thought because they wanted me to feel shitty. They told me my face was manly. They told me my body was manly because I didn't have anything here. I didn't have anything here. And my body was just straight. There was no hips, there was no curves, there was nothing. I'm also 5'9", and I grew to 5'9" in the 5th grade. So instantly right off the bat, I was the tallest kid in my class. Because I grew so quickly. I was bullied for the same things. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like we get bullied over things that we genuinely cannot control. Like, I could not control the way that I looked. I grew up in Miami, Florida. I'm Hispanic, but I'm a lot more white presenting than most Hispanics that I went to school with. So I would get made fun of that. Like, literally, it was like reverse racism, which is crazy. Like, I understand that people have the argument that you can't be racist towards like white people, but I swear to God, when I went to school, like, people were literally racist towards me because I was a white Hispanic and everyone else was like a normal Hispanic. Like a normal stereotypical Hispanic as far as like their skin can tan. They had dark eyes, they had dark hair. I had dark hair, but I had blue eyes and I had pale white skin and I was 5'9" and I had European facial structure. They would make fun of me for being white. They were like, you're not Hispanic, you are white. I'm like, I'm 100% Latina, 100%. In fact, my Spanish was better than the majority of the kids in my school because my dad didn't speak English. These people were like 2nd, 3rd generation Hispanic. I was 1st generation American. No, these people were like 2nd or 3rd generation American. I was like 1st generation American, and I was still getting made fun of for being white, which was crazy to me. It's straight racism, not like reverse racism. Well, I'm sorry if I messed up the terminology, but yeah, people would make fun of me for being white, which was literally crazy. Like, there's a problem in the Hispanic community where it's like, we will like, it's like, if you look like me, you're not Hispanic. But if you look a different, but then they also prefer European, people that present more European. But then at the same time, when you present European, you're not fully Hispanic. They're like, oh, you're Hispanic? And I'd be like, yes, I'm Cuban. And they'd be like, okay, but where are you really from? Because you look white. And I'm like, just like you probably, you know, the people that colonized us, Latinos, people who were Spanish, European. So if I look Spanish, that's probably why. Yeah, they would, I remember when we would have field day in school, I was the only person putting sunblock on. Like, there was definitely like other like white Hispanic kids and stuff, but I don't know why in the majority of the schools that I went to, in the class, I was one of the few people with blue eyes. I know that blue eyes is rare, but mind you, my school at times was 90% Hispanic. All of the schools I went to were something like 90% Hispanic, and the rest were like either half Hispanic and like white or something, or just African American, and like, but there was never a lot of African Americans in the place that I grew up, so they would like constitute a small percentage. Like, literally, it was just like, you're either Hispanic or you're not. And I was actually super Hispanic, but because I looked like as American as some of the few American kids that we had, they would like make fun of me. Spanish class, I hated to speak Spanish in school. I hated it. I hated to speak Spanish in school because every time I would read or something, people were like, oh, here goes so-and-so speaking Spanish. My Spanish is perfect. When I get nervous, I can't speak it. So obviously when they would like say hurtful comments like that, I would trip over conjugations of words that I literally know how to do because I just knew that people were waiting for me to fail so they can make fun of me and then discredit my identity, which was Hispanic. I had an issue admitting that I was Hispanic to people forever. I didn't want to tell people I was Cuban. I told people that I was from Miami and that was it. Now when you ask me where I'm from, I'm like, I'm from Miami, but I'm Cuban. Don't you worry, I'm Cuban. I'm Cuban. Some of you guys have ideas of what Cuban people look like, but I'm Cuban. I eat congri, I eat pechuga de pollo, like all of that stuff. Croquetas. I know how to make croquetas. I make amazing croquetas. I have sopa de plátano. I love plantain soup. Like, food-wise, we're Cuban, okay? Culturally, we're definitely Cuban. My grandparents are Cuban AF. Literally so Cuban. They like reminisce of Cuba every single time I have a conversation with them. They're like, oh, this reminds me of Cuba back in the glory days. And I'm just like, how am I being told that I'm not Cuban? Cuba in the house. Yeah, and Cubans come in all colors, which is crazy that people were trying to discredit me for being... I have a friend that literally just came from Cuba. Like, she just escaped Cuba 6 years ago, and she's got red hair, white skin, green eyes, and freckles everywhere, and she's 5'8". There's no one in the world that's gonna tell that girl that she's not Cuban, because the second that she opens her mouth, even when she speaks English, you could tell that that girl's from Cuba. We come in all different kinds. Latinos are black, Latinos are white, Latinos could be anywhere in between. They could be more native looking, they could be more mixed looking as far as like native and white, or native and black, or black and white, or black and native, or just black. They could be Asian. It doesn't matter. I understand that, like, maybe like you would, if you saw like an Asian Latino person, you would like be like, oh, like, that's different. But that doesn't mean that they aren't Latin, that they weren't, that they couldn't have been born in a culture, a Latino culture, and they speak the language and they identify with the culture. There's a lot in Brazil. My cousins, we call each other cousins because our moms have been best friends since college, and then we were kind of like raised together. They're Brazilian Chinese. Their mom, their grandmother and grandparents are from China, but they moved to Brazil and had the mom in Brazil, so she looks Chinese, but is a Brazilian woman. She speaks Portuguese, cooks Brazilian food. That's Latina. She's literally Latina. She is the most she's a samba dancer for fun. Like, that's like what she does for a hobby. She dances samba. How are you gonna tell that woman just because she looks Chinese that she's not Latina? She's gonna laugh at you in the face. She's gonna be like, I don't even speak Chinese. I'm Latin. That's like telling someone that moved from a different country, or like whose family is from a different country, came to the United States and is born and raised in the United States, you know, is in tune with American culture or whatever, that they're not American. Is anyone really American then? Because we all came from somewhere. We all did come from somewhere. It's an identity thing at the end of the day. It's also a cultural thing. It's a lot of things, but being Latina is a lot more than what you look like. Being Latina is, it's a lot more complicated than that. So a lot of my bullying was like, I didn't feel Hispanic enough, so like people told me to drop it. Like, you know, I literally got bullied profusely as a kid for being very white. And then I dyed my hair blonde when I was 13 because my mom dyes her hair blonde, and like I just wanted to look like my mom because I think my mom is so pretty. So I dyed my hair blonde, and like that definitely put the nail in the coffin. They're like, oh, mira esta, like she's trying to be white as possible. So then it was a bad thing. So then people were saying that I was just rejecting my identity altogether, and I was like, I've been fighting with you guys for years trying to convince you guys that I'm Latina. I can't even dye my hair. Everything else was trace, like small little traces of things from like literally 100 generations ago. But the fact that you're Latina, I'm screaming. I know. I don't look it, but I swear I am. Don't believe me? Come hang out with my family. You guys will be like, this, I can't. Why is it Thanksgiving and there's no turkey, there's a pig? Why? Why is there a pig roasting in front of me on Thanksgiving? It's because we're Cuban, we eat pigs. Why is it that there's no gravy at this Thanksgiving? Why do you need gravy? We have ajo. Or my dad is Argentinian, so he likes to bring chimichurri. I'm not biologically Argentinian, just my stepdad is Argentinian, so there's other things, you know? We're literally, yeah, some lechon, you know? Why? Oh, hell no, not a pig. I have my turkey and all the trimmings. Sometimes we make a turkey. I have a white uncle. My aunt married a redneck. Like, he calls himself a redneck. I think on his truck, it has a sticker that says proud to be a redneck. He goes shooting, he goes hunting. He's like originally from like Georgia, I think. Big gun guy, like hunter, like has 3 grills for different types of finishes of meat. And ever since we added him to the family, that white guy, we've had turkey at our Thanksgivings. It's been a few years that he'll show up with a turkey, you know. Oh snap, the southern redneck kind. Literally a southern redneck who married my aunt, who is Cuban Brazilian, a Cuban Brazilian-ish. And that was the story of how my family got turkey in our Thanksgiving for the first time, because he came to one of our Thanksgivings and saw that we didn't have a turkey and he thought it was like blasphemous. He was like, Thanksgiving is literally called Turkey Day. Like, we need to have a turkey, not just a pig. The pig is cool, but I'm gonna make some turkey. Are you voting Democrat? You guys are gonna hate me for this, but I always vote Libertarian. Because you guys say like, oh, it's throwing away the vote or whatever, but I'm a libertarian. But it's like a special case. I don't necessarily align right or left. I am socially left. Like, social issues, left. Pro-choice, like, we need to have safety net programs, we need to take care of our people, you know, but also fiscally, I could be a little bit more right as far as like, I don't necessarily, like, I don't want the government in my shit, you know? I don't want the government involved in my day-to-day things. I think no one should be in prison for weed. I think most drugs should be legal. Why is it that, I mean, like, think about it like this. The only drugs that we're allowed to do are the ones that Big Pharma profits off of. Like, the FDA, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because people are gonna do it anyway. But the thing is, we're now punishing people that are sick. People become addicts and they get arrested and then they don't get the help that they need. All that stuff. Whatever. I want the government less in my crap. I don't want them involved. But if they're gonna be involved, they might as well do good stuff. They might as well help where they can. They might as well help where they can. But I want to have the choice to do it with my body, with my person, what I want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. come to Saudi, I invite you. No, I'm good. I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. I had a guy friend go to Saudi Arabia, and he was FaceTiming me, and he was showing me like that the gym was men only, and that the pool was men only, the sauna was men only. Like, he took his wife, and it was a beautiful religion. I dated a Muslim for basically quarantine. My major in college is Middle Eastern international relations with a focus in Islam. I was learning I was learning Arabic for a bit. I left it though because I was taking so many classes and like burning through all of my credits for Arabic, and it was so hard for me just to learn a new alphabet for some reason. I speak 2.5-ish, 3-ish languages, and a new alphabet entirely just threw me off. I tried learning Russian. It's like more like, I know that the Cyrillic alphabet isn't really that complicated, but it's the different tenses as far as like formal, informal, all of that stuff just throws me off. For like the whole, we dated before the quarantine, and then we did quarantine together, and then that's when we realized that we like really weren't meant for each other. Islam is a religion of love, and it's just been taken out of context because religion can be used as a tool by a government to control people. So that's what's happening in some of these regimes where women's rights are constantly being violated, and like Masha Amini, or I'm sorry if I didn't like pronounce her name properly. Iran isn't even Muslim. It's under Sharia law, but Iran people wanted to be conquered by Iran back in the day. Because the ruler, the king, they would conquer the land, and then the people were allowed to practice whatever religion they wanted. That's what Iran was. That's what Iran was. What's happening in these Sharia law countries could be likened to what basically the Catholic Church did in all of these other countries for so long. The way that they would persecute scientists, the Catholic Church would persecute scientists. The Catholic Church just rejected science, like whatever. There was, you couldn't cheat on your husband or whatever, or you as a woman would be stoned. Like we did that too. Iran, not Iran. Sorry, I was saying it like American, like Iran, but I know it's Iran. But that was in the 1500s. It doesn't matter. Our religion also has a history of doing that stuff. It's not, but we still follow it. Like, I'm a Christian. I know that I'm Catholic, actually. I know that the Catholic Church has done terrible things, but what the church did wasn't my religion. It was the wrong people in power using religion to brainwash and control an entire population, and say that the reason why they were doing all of these things was not because they decided to. If you've got an issue with the things that we're doing, it's God. God told us to do this. You take it up with God. Are you going to piss your God off because you don't want to follow our rules and give us all your money and like all of that stuff? No. Anyway. Islam, if you were to get a Quran, which I have had, a Quran. I don't have it in this apartment because I actually left it in a box of all of my old belongings when I moved out of my old house. I have a Torah, I have a Bible, and I have a Quran. In school, I had to read the Quran because that was my major. I was like, honestly, there's a lot of, there's universal truths on all of these religions. Like, we're not that different. It's like, don't kill, like marriage is sacred, all that stuff. We had all of these, we have so many similarities, but the thing that most people cling on to are the differences. In my opinion, Islam is a religion of love. It's like most religions have, it's been used as a tool to suppress people, which is what's happening in Iran. That was it. That's it. It's not a problem of the religion, of the ideology. We should never disrespect someone else's religion because it's not what we're used to, but it's not a problem of religion, it's a problem of putting the wrong people in power. Because in my opinion, I have a distrust of politicians, because in my mind it's like, why do people want that much power? To make a difference or to control? Do you want to make a difference or do you want to control? The majority of these people just want to be powerful. Then why do you say that about Saudi? So confused. Well, because the actual politics. I don't agree with the actual politics. I have no problem with Islam. But I'm the kind of person that favors politics, that it's more like freedom of religion. Do what you want, be comfortable, all of that stuff. We should all have the choice. The government should be outside of our choices, the way that we live. That's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, that's okay. I literally don't have a problem with people that have difference of opinions. I do not. Because that's what makes us great as human beings. That we could be so similar. Us humans, we're human, but we can have different ideas, we can have different experiences, we can have different cultures, and that's what makes the world special. Never thought about it like that. Yeah. What's your sign? I'm a Taurus. How do I feel about Russia? This is not like the anti-Russian sentiment that had been occurring that I've been noticing and all of that stuff, like in the media and all of that stuff. This is not Russia's war. This is the wrong people in power making very greedy and very reckless decisions at the expense of their constituents. If you know Russian people, this is not their fault. You do not insult them, you do not whatever. That is not what's happening. That is not what's happening. It's literally the government. What do you think of Palestine and Israel? That's a loaded question. I mean, that is a loaded question. Only because, like, I know that the Jews have been through so much, but it's just a shame that, like, there wasn't a more peaceful solution. There wasn't like a way to accommodate for both people. That wasn't what something that played out. Because I'm pro peace. Like, I don't want conflict. I don't think that one people should be considered more important than the other. It's I that's as far as my opinion goes, because, like, there really isn't. I've done research on it, but people have a difference of opinion, and I'm maybe not close enough to the subject to have, like, one, like, I feel for both people, but, like, what's happening with Palestinians losing their home is so sad. Like, but then also, like, the Jews, like, have been just persecuted, and so it's just like, where is their refuge? And it was just like, I feel like that whole situation is just fucked, in my opinion. Like, because I'm a very empathetic person. That's what I try to do. I empathize, but it was. Does not justify their ethnic cleansing. We appreciate the Islam and blah, 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 blah. But whatever, that's as much as you guys wanted to know my politics. My politics are, when it comes to those types of regimes and stuff, like when we're talking about Iran and all of that stuff, it's just like, it's not the religion. Please do not be prejudiced against people because they have that religion, because they choose to wear the hijab. Do not be prejudiced against that. Just because women choose to wear the hijab doesn't mean that they're being oppressed to do so if they're in the right environment, you know? But meanwhile in Iran, they're being forced to cover up, And that might not be the religion of everyone. That might not be the views that people align. So I'm very much pro, like, let's just let our people present and express themselves the way that they want. And yeah, but what's happening in Iran is they're just, like, this is the fact that these women have had the courage to take this off knowing the consequences, just to stand together as women and fight against this oppressive regime. And you're gonna tell me that women aren't badass? Napo no se ladra. No se ladra. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, bub. Come here. He went underneath the couch. He thought he got in trouble. More women in the world than men. Yeah, imagine if us women were just like, we're gonna stick together. We're gonna stick together. Of course it's the politics and not the religion. Of course, I agree. I think it should be part of the American school curriculum, a theology class, not like a specific theology class, a general theology class where we go over every single major religion just to promote a little bit more understanding. Because if people just wanted to learn, like if people just knew the basics of each religion, you'll see that we're not really that different. The only thing that was different was maybe like we have like slight differences, but we were also from different, people are from different regions. Like there's different needs for things. Like religion was created to keep populations safe, like thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? It's just, we have in religions, there's things called universal truths. And these universal truths are basically things that you will see in most monotheistic, if not most major religions in general. It's basically love your neighbor, treat people with respect, don't kill, don't steal. All of those things are found in all of those religions. Don't be adulterous. Like, it's a moral thing. It's morality. Those are the universal truths. Religion is the morality police. We were taught morals through religion because, religion has always been around since like the existence of thought, right? Of society, of cohesive thought, of thinking as idea. That's when religion was formed. Common ideas, common identities, all of that stuff. And also just the human mind wondering, like, how was all of this made? It has to have been God. I believe in God, but I don't necessarily follow a specific religion anymore. I say I'm Catholic because it's more of a cultural thing. I want to get married in the church, not because I believe that God is going to punish me and think that my religion is void if I don't get married in the church, but also religion is a cultural thing. For me, all of my family gets married in a Catholic church. It's a cultural thing. I want to get married in a Catholic church because it's my culture. So there's different... Shout out to all the Miami Catholics. I'm literally a Miami Catholic. Like, I don't necessarily go to Catholic church, but I do believe that every single person was put on this earth for a reason, and that's why we should always treat other people with respect and stuff like that, because they were put here and created by the same thing that I was created by. That I'm not different from this other person, because the world does distribute talent evenly. Everyone has an even amount of talent. The only thing is that we didn't get opportunities distributed to us evenly. So let's think of it like this. My mom didn't grow up in the United States, isn't American, all of that stuff. But me and her are so similar that I'm just like, what if she had the proper resources to develop her writing, develop communication, develop thought? Could she have also been a comedian? Could she have also been a writer like I am? Because my parents didn't have those opportunities, but they figured it out, so I did. And then I became successful, and I do think it is because of my education, because someone taught me how to read, someone taught me how to write, someone taught me different writing styles, how to think outside of the box, how to educate myself in grammar, in wordplay. I was put in diction classes where I had to study the dictionary, so that's why I can rhyme so easily, because I know words that rhyme together. I have a bigger vocabulary. But that doesn't make me better than someone who didn't have access to that education, because they could be a better comedian than me, but they just didn't have access to the tutors, they didn't have access to the books, they didn't have access to the knowledge. So that's why we can't have prejudice against people with different experiences than us. That doesn't mean that they're less talented or less capable. It just means that maybe, I had different opportunities than they did. And people thrive in different, people like, you guys know what I'm talking about. So that's literally why I think that everyone, from the person that serves me food, from the person that cleans my house, from the person that, like, people that maybe work for me or something like that, or provide a service to me, that doesn't mean that I'm better than them. Humans work in kind of like transactional relationships, so I'm obviously going to restaurants, so a cook cooks for me and someone serves me food and gives me like an experience, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm better than them. Not even necessarily, it does not mean that I'm better than them. So anyway, it also gets into like why I get so angry. I've gotten so angry at my exes who treat like wait staff terribly or don't tip well or whatever. I'm just like, I get fucking pissed. I get so angry. I'm just like, I'm not even like a social justice warrior. I'm very mellow. I just believe in equal respect, and I hate when people get treated like shit. As someone who used to get bullied, I hate when I see kind of like adult bullying in real life, or like the world bullying other people. So people matter. Every single human being and their emotions and their experiences are unique, and they matter. Tipping is optional, bro. Not for me. It's not optional. It's not optional. For me, it's not optional. I don't know everyone else's financial situations, but at least me and my ex-boyfriends I'm successful on my own. My boyfriends have been massively successful. I don't think I've like dated a broke guy since I was like 17. So it's just more like, I know you have it, so why are we being stingy? Everyone knows that the universe rewards gratitude. Let's think of it like this. Okay, let's talk about gratitude real quick. I know that this turned into like a bullshit live about me like ranting and stuff about like things that bother me in my life, but let's talk about gratitude, because I'm actually very grateful, and I feel like a lot of this live, like the way that I almost get attention in this live is to talk about terrible things that have happened to me. That doesn't necessarily mean that I lose gratefulness. I'm grateful for everything that I have. But not only am I grateful, I'm so grateful that I'm not selfish. I'm grateful to the point that I want to share this with people. So, my friends, I have friends that don't have the money to travel. I refuse to let that stop them from joining me on a trip, so I will cover everything for you, and I don't want you to think that you owe me money, because I'm offering to pay for your flight, I'm offering to pay for your hotel and your food, because I know that you're not in the same financial situation as me, but as my friend, I love you. And what is the point of my success if I don't have anyone to share it with? So, with that being said, I constantly do this thing where I am a sugar daddy to the people that I love, because I want them to have the same experiences as me. I want to share my success, my happiness, my experience with people that are real, that love me, that are here for me, and that all of that stuff. So I'm going to do that for you. What you can do for me is not pay me back, but keep being you, because I'm obviously grateful for you, and that's why I'm doing all of these things for you. Just keep being you. That's all I ask in return. Just keep being my good friend. Keep being my shoulder to cry on, and I'll be yours. And something that I've noticed is every single time that I don't stop worrying about money, and I'm just like, I'm blessed and I'm gonna take care of the people that I love. The universe has always rewarded me. I took someone very special to me to Puerto Rico. I took a couple of my friends to Puerto Rico, but one of my friends in particular, she didn't want to go because she didn't want to say that she couldn't pay for it, and I already knew that she couldn't pay for it, so I ended up just booking everything myself and just surprising her with it so she couldn't say no, and saying that it was non-refundable even though it was. And I came back home noticing the hole in my American Express account. I spent so much money because I was my little brother, like I flew him out and I paid for all of his food and I paid for all of the activities that we did for him. I also did it for one of my friends. There's been instances where I've had to do it for 3 friends at a time and my little brother and all of that stuff, and there's been holes in my Amex account. I came back home, I looked at my Amex statement and I was like, oh shit, but it's okay because life is so short that I'm just glad that I'll be able to remember this Puerto Rico trip with my little brother and my best friends forever. My manager calls me today and told me that we closed 2 surprise deals. The day I got home from Puerto Rico, my manager called me and told me that we closed 2 surprise deals, which amounted to the same amount of money that I spent for everyone times 3. That has happened every single time. And it's not something that I'm expecting to happen every single time that I do this. I've just been like, you know what, God, thank you for putting me in the situation that I can do this. That I can do this. The abundance mindset, the abundance mentality is so powerful that I didn't even start making real money until I developed a mindset of abundance. Obviously, I established a business and I put in the work, but being successful is a lot more than that. It's something I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about generosity and kindness because I've met plenty of rich people who are massively successful, but no one likes them. No one thinks they're a good person. And they end up coming out and saying that they're unhappy because they didn't really have anyone to share the success with. I'm not taking any of my money when I die. I would like to have money that I could leave behind to make sure that my kids are gonna be okay when I'm gone. But is that mentality gonna stop me from buying my best friend a flight so she can come join me on these experiences? I'm only 21 once. I'm 21 right now. And I am blessed to be in a situation at 21 where I don't have student debt. Shit's gone. I don't have any debt. I can constantly pay off my credit cards. That's not an issue. It's an issue for a lot of people my age because it's part of growing up, and some people just had to grow up faster. I graduated high school when I was young. We got over all of that like transitional hump really early. And it's kind of just like, bro, I am the rich husband, that's number 1, but I'm gonna be a sugar daddy for all of my friends. I wanna be the friend that you can come to when you need something. And I'm honestly I'm very good at giving advice, yes. That's a record that I have in the friend group. People that come to me for advice despite being the youngest one in the friend group, like Blair also gives really good advice though. I feel like we all give good advice, but like still I give good advice. I do give good advice. I'll give myself that. I'm not maybe the most emotionally available friend. That's not something that I understand that that's my weakness. You can come crying to me and stuff like that. I'll be there for you and stuff, but I probably won't cry also. And that doesn't mean that I don't cry. Like, it's like I don't present my emotions the way that some people would maybe want me to present my emotions in order to feel like I'm showing like empathy. But something that I do is that I give gifts. I will help you if you need help. That's just the way that I show my love. I show my love by gift giving. My love language is physical touch and quality time, words of affirmation. It's very like vocal and all that stuff. I don't really like receiving gifts, but because I don't know what to do when people give me presents. I don't know what to do. But my best friend Sarah, she gave me this and I will never take it off. My boyfriend's mom gave me this, I'll never take it off. My mom gave me this, I'll never take it off. my family has all given me basically all of my jewelry, because I won't really buy jewelry for myself, but when it's a gift, like, I will wear it until it falls off, and at least they gave me quality stuff so it'll never fall off. So I'm sorry to my friends if I'm not emotionally available. I may not be the friend that you call if you want to talk about things, because I probably won't answer my phone, because if I'm not working, I actually don't have my phone on me, and I'm like notoriously known for being MIA, because I think my phone almost stresses me out a bit, and I like turn away from it and stuff. But so I probably won't be there physically, but I want to be the friend that, you know, that if you're in some hot shit, if you're in some deep waters, you can ask me, and I'll never think that you're using me, because I have friends that don't use me. My friends don't use me for shit. That doesn't happen. My friends use me because my friends are friends with me because they like me and they love me. And I feel the same way about, I've had conversations with other people where I explain to them like kind of the things that I do for my friends, and then they go, are you sure that they're not using you? And it's like, to be fair, I literally only have like 4, maybe 5 friends like that could actually tell people that they're friends with me, and like I would agree that yes, I don't have many friends, but that's because like I know these people and I know that they'll never use me. They'll never use me. I have that, I can say that confidently. The friends that I have now will never ever let me down, ever. Because they not only have they proven it to me time and time again, but I just know that them bitches ain't ever gonna let me down. I put them in many situations where they could have just walked away, and they didn't. We're still stuck together. I've also never said hurtful things to my friends. That's something that if someone's wondering like where can I improve as a friend or whatever, having control over emotions, and I've never gotten into a fight with my friends. I don't get into fights with my friends. If something happened and it bothered me, I'm really good at communicating, and if they're really your friend and they're really worried about like your feelings and preserving the friendship, they would never do that again. And if there's someone that consistently hurts you, despite you talking to them and telling them that this hurts, then they don't actually have your best interest in mind. I'm very good at cutting off friends too. I had a best friend. We were neighbors, we grew up together, we were inseparable. Eventually, when we got older, we started going clubbing a lot. We were underage, but like me and her together, like the promoters would let us in Miami and stuff because we knew how to dress up like we were older and like look good. When I became famous on social media, I told her I didn't want a few things happening. I set my boundaries very clear. I was like, love you to death. Here are my boundaries though. Things have changed a little bit in my life. I don't want to be filmed randomly when I'm like, for no reason. Like I get like filming like your friends, like whatever, like when we're all doing that and stuff, but it was more like there would be times where me and her were laying in bed and I was just like talking about deep shit and stuff, and she would just make a boomerang of me like ranting and then like tag me and be like, I wonder what the sugar baby rant's about. And I'd just be like, wait, that's so not genuine. I'm trying to talk to you about something like real, and like that shit is happening. Also, it was her birthday. And I was in a shoot all day for a sponsor, like an in-person shoot for a sponsor. Like we were basically making a commercial, and I was working for 12 hours, and I was exhausted because the work I do genuinely mentally exhausts me, because it's a lot of talking and like being witty, and like it's the attitude, it's personality, it's jumping around, and it's all of that stuff, especially when we're working with like advertising. And I was very, very drained. I don't mind being used for by my friends for privileges that I get from my job. Like I could reach out to like a restaurant and get a reservation in 2 seconds, because restaurants always hold on to extra tables in case like an athlete or someone famous comes in. But if you're good at talking on the phone and selling yourself, sometimes I talk on the phone and I pretend to be my manager, to get like tables places, because I know that they have extra tables. They're just holding it for someone who plays their cards right? I did that for her birthday, as far as getting her into a really nice table at a lounge for her birthday. But because of the shoot, like, I genuinely was so tired, I was falling asleep on the ride home, and she was like, are you coming? Like, we're going out at 1 a.m. And I just got off work, it was 9 p.m. I got there at 8 a.m. That shoot, I didn't get paid overtime for that shit though. I was so tired, and I was actually covered in car grease because we were like working with cars. I told her no, but I'll go to the one tomorrow, because I actually planned her entire birthday. It was club, dinner the next day. I told her I'll go to dinner the next day, which was her actual birthday, and I just felt like bad and like I just needed to sleep. She called me on the phone as I was on my way home and almost made me cry, because she told me that I was such a terrible friend for not coming out to the club to celebrate her birthday when it wasn't even her birthday. Her birthday was the following day. And that I was a terrible friend. She literally said it like that. She's like, you're one of the worst friends that I have, because everyone else is showing up to this club and you're not. I was like, what? I'm a terrible friend because I'm telling you, like, I genuinely, like, am I gonna show up and like be falling asleep? That's basically what I did. And I couldn't drink because I knew that if I drank, I would fall asleep. I was so tired. My eyes were just like glossed over and red. And then I was just sitting there, and then she was pissed at me that I had shown up and I was trying not to fall asleep, because it showed that I didn't actually really want to be there. I was like, I'm tired. I told you I was tired. You told me I was going to be a terrible friend if I didn't show up to this club, and I showed up because you made me feel like shit. And now I'm just trying to stay awake, okay? I'm here and I'm just trying to stay awake. I can't have a shot of vodka. I'm going to fall asleep. And then when she had told me that, I literally stood up and left the club, because I was like, this is like, she's getting angry and she's drunk, and like when she gets drunk, she gets like a little belligerent. So I was just like, I don't want her to say anything that she won't mean to me, because I'm sober right now and like this isn't fair. So I left, and like the party got shut down literally 30 minutes after. I woke up at 2 p.m. the next day out of exhaustion, and she calls me and is just like, you didn't wake up to wish me a happy birthday in the morning. I was like, girl, that doesn't mean that I wasn't gonna do it. I was just sleeping in because I'm tired. And then she was like, by the way, the dinner reservation that you got me, I canceled it and I changed it to the club. I want to go to the club one more time. There's a club that serves dinner, and then afterwards you just party at your table. And I told her, I can't go to the club again. I did that yesterday. I don't really like the club. You know I don't like the club. The reason why I planned your birthday and you told me to do whatever I wanted, I planned club because I knew you liked it. And then I planned dinner so you can actually have a conversation with the people that care about you and still have fun, because it was a dinner with like music in the back. Like, it was a good time. She canceled it. And then I told her, like, I can't go to the club again. Like, I don't like the club. Like, it gives me anxiety. It's draining. I'm like worried about you, because when you get drunk, like, bad shit happens. Like, I need to watch you when you're around guys. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, she told me that I ruined her birthday and she canceled the club, and she decided to boycott her birthday until I did what she wanted. And then that's when I realized that she had a history of doing this shit to me, like always putting me under this pressure, as far as like, I understand that I'm a really close friend of yours, but you have other friends too. Like, why is it that you're gonna ruin your own birthday because I told you I just don't want to go to the club after dinner? Was she a Pisces? She was a Pisces. Is this a Pisces thing? No, this isn't Blair. Are you kidding me? Blair's my sister until I die. Blair and I will literally never get into a fight. Like, me and her will never get into a fight. How did I know? She is literally that. My ex-best friend was a Pisces. I'm shocked that you guys knew that. I'm a Pisces and I used to be like that. Yeah, she canceled her 18th birthday because I said I didn't want to go to the club after dinner. She has other friends. She had 7 other friends. She did have a Cancer moon too. It's crazy how you guys got that. My ex-best friend was the same. I just can't do that. I'm the most low maintenance friend in the world, and I like my friendships low maintenance because I will disappear and not talk to anyone for months. But when I come back, I want to pick it off like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. I'm just a low maintenance friend, and I'm mostly introverted. Like when it comes to my relationships, I'm introverted. I entertain people online, but I'm talking to my phone in my apartment. An introvert can be an influencer easily. I'm talking to 700 to 800 people, but I'm alone in my apartment, and I will be alone in my apartment for the rest of the day. Same, I disappear here and there. I'm a Sagittarius. How about you? I am a Taurus, Leo rising, and my fight planet or whatever it is, it's in Sagittarius, and that's my only Sagittarius placement. Yeah. What about get a boyfriend? When I get a boyfriend, I do kind of disappear a little bit, only because I'm really out and about when I'm dating. I get the majority. This is a bad thing about me. Like, I'm obviously not a perfect person nor a perfect friend, and I can acknowledge that. But when I'm in a relationship, my life feels so much more stable because that aspect of my life is fulfilled. Like love to me is so important. Like the love, like me having a man to me is so good for me, as far as like I feel calm, I feel protected, I feel like I have someone in my house that's my rock, my stability, like basically a best friend that you can also be intimate with. Perfect combination, you know? That I might not be as present when I have a boyfriend, but that doesn't mean that I won't be present. It just means that like I won't be going to the club until 7 a.m. On a Wednesday. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that because I maybe wouldn't like it if my boyfriend was doing that. It's okay to do that from time to time. It's totally fine. But like there's like a mutual respect thing, and it's not like a toxic thing. It's more because like my boyfriend doesn't care. Like I could literally do it and like he won't care, and like he could probably do it and I probably wouldn't care. But in the back of my mind, I have that, how can I keep respecting my partner in a relationship in the back of my mind? I'm like, I'm not going to be dressed like literally boobies out on a Wednesday night with like doing single shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to go to the club with my girls and I'm going to dress however I want, but like there's moderation. I'm in a relationship. It's not just me thinking about myself. I also have to think about someone else. So that's kind of how I am when I'm in a relationship. Like I like to spend, my partner and I, we're codependent. Me and Billy, we're codependent. I don't like to go to the grocery store without him because it's boring. But when it's with him, it's fun. I don't want to go to you can't take that filter off to the club. I don't even have a filter on right now. You can literally see my skin texture, so don't hit me with that. My partner is my team because whoever I date, I'm dating you because in my mind, we're gonna get married. And if I see that we're not gonna get married, then we break up. But in my mind, we're gonna get married and you're gonna be the person that I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna start a family with you. That's teamwork, baby. I need a team. I need a teammate. My friends are part of my team, but I'm not gonna have kids with my friends. So we'll probably be babysitting each other's kids, but you know, I gotta make sure that my man is okay, like is taken care of. I will take care of my friends too. I will never put a man over my friends in that context, ever. But there's a balance. I gotta maintain my relationships and I gotta maintain my friendships and not let either one step over the other. You have to compartmentalize. You could also bring your boyfriend into the friend group, which I do. I do bring him into the friend group, make him feel included, make my friends feel included when I do stuff with my boyfriend. Like if they text me and they want to hang out and I was going to go to dinner with my boyfriend, he doesn't care. We're going to add them to the reservation and we're going to make it a family outing, which is what we call them, a family outing. So it is what it is. When I had that friend of mine, the one that we used to be friends and like we couldn't stop being friends because of the whole birthday party situation, it just felt like she wanted me to be her boyfriend and I couldn't do that. I couldn't be that for her because I already had a boyfriend. I could be a friend for her. I was a friend to her, but I couldn't also be her boyfriend. I say that, but at the same time, Sarah calls me her boyfriend, and I agree. I'm basically Sarah's boyfriend. But there are levels. What is the name of the stone? I don't know. I got this at the thrift store. I think this is like sandpapered glass. It looks like a little seashell. I put it on from Puerto Rico and I haven't taken it off. I'm not like a big jewelry person. I just kind of like find cute stuff at the thrift store and like put it on, like forget to take it off until like it really doesn't match the outfit, and then I switch. But she actually wanted you to be her boyfriend. No, she didn't actually want me to be her boyfriend. She just wanted me to be like a boyfriend because I'm very like feminine in the way that the word works, like all of that stuff, but I have a lot of masculine energy in the way that I take care of my people, and she really clung on to that. We even had these she really clung on to that and like said that like I was her protector and all of that stuff, which a friend should be, someone who's going to have your back and protect you. But like she would liken me to a boyfriend, and like the way that like, you know, I pay for dinner. Like if we were dating, I'd be top. Basically, she would say that too. She's like, if we were dating and together, you would be top. I'm gonna switch topics though real quick, because you know, but do you guys want to hear about my high school bully and what she does for a living now? I don't wish anyone bad. I don't wish anyone bad at all. There's a possibility that this girl has changed, and I do think that people can change. But I'm also not going to forget the actual living shit she made my end of middle school / high school experience. I'm not going to forget that, because I wasn't out here doing that shit to other people, but she was. So you guys want to know about her a little bit and updates about her current life, which I don't know if to be petty and fuck with her at work, but I can. And that to me is power. This doesn't mean I'm going to do it, because I'm not really that petty. But she was so petty to me, I almost owe it to myself. You know what I mean? I almost owe it to little Mia to do this to her. Okay, I transferred to this. Okay, I played soccer. I played soccer. I haven't played it in a while because I had a knee injury, but I used to play soccer when I was smaller. I was really aggressive and maybe even more advanced, or definitely more advanced than me, so that's how I learned. But eventually in this like park situation, a few of these girls joined the soccer federation, whatever that we were in. It was just like an after school thing, but it was at the park, and they joined classes. They didn't know anything about soccer, they just wanted to learn. It was a group of like 6 girls, and I could tell that they had been friends for a while and that they were good friends and stuff, so they took me out of the boys team, because now officially we had just enough girls to be able to practice just girls. So they put me, and I was like the only one that they didn't know. It was me, it was just like a handful of other girls who had randomly signed up, and then this group of like 6 friends who we were all the same age, and they had gone to a school that I was actually thinking about joining. I was thinking about switching schools, and I had heard about their school, and I wanted to go to their school. It was like a good magnet school, and I wanted to go. And it was fine. We were a team. We were learning how to play soccer together. I was the better one at playing soccer, so I would help where I could. But I'm always brutally honest. Like, you can't like ask me like, do you think I'm good at soccer? And you're not. I'm gonna be like, I think you can be. You just need to practice. Like, you should probably do this drill and work on this. If you work on this, it's gonna help you with this, and this is gonna overall make you a better player. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not someone who lies. If you put on a dress and it doesn't look good on you and you ask me if you look good, I'm gonna be like, this dress doesn't look as good on you as maybe this dress would. Because this dress would highlight your figure more or whatever, and this dress just looks like a trash bag. Like, I'm not gonna do that to my friends and give them fake advice. It's not gonna happen. So we start playing soccer, all of that stuff. We actually become friends. We became friends, we were on the same team, and we became friends, and it was beautiful. So then I told my mom, hey mom, I want to switch schools. Like, you know the school that I wanted to go to? She was like, yeah. And I was like, I already have friends. I already have friends in that school. I play soccer with them. I think, you know, they even told me that if I switch this school, like, first day, I'll be able to sit with them at lunch. I have friends to sit with at lunch. That was the one thing that was holding me back from transferring schools, because I just didn't want to be the girl that didn't have any friends and didn't know anyone. And she was like, okay, let's switch you schools. It does have a better music program. Let's switch you. It's closer to the house. I was in a private school at the time, and the school that I wanted to switch to was a charter school, so it's free. It's a government, like, it's like basically like a public school, just with more programs and more funding, essentially. I got into the school, and all of a sudden I realized that these girls are the popular kids. Like, people were like afraid of these girls. Like, standard textbook, what you see in movies, these girls are like clicked up. Like, we had uniforms, but they would all put pins and stuff in their uniforms and like all look like one group, you know? And I was coming in, and I wasn't used to that kind of like mob mentality, like that sorority girl thing. But I was cool with it. I was like, this is new. This is awesome. Literally the first day, this is what happened the first day. I switched the school, and people obviously start talking. I joined in the middle of the year. I was a new kid, all that stuff. The guys thought that I was like really pretty, and they liked me, and a lot of guys were talking about how they liked me. Which is like, I heard this on the first day. Girls were coming up to me, and they were just like, dude, all the boys are talking about you. It's probably because you're new. Whatever. It was time for lunch. And the school was so big, we had A lunch, B lunch, C lunch, D lunch. So we had 4 lunches to accommodate everyone in the school, because it was a middle school and a high school combined. And I remember texting the girls in my soccer thing that I had a lunch. It was like maybe B lunch. I don't even remember what it was. Or D lunch. Doesn't matter. This doesn't matter in the story. And I was saying who had the same lunch as me. My bully, who wasn't my bully yet, had the same lunch as me, and she had it with a few of her friends. And she was like, we sit here. They sit literally in the middle table of the cafeteria. It's a circle. Our cafeteria is a circle, and they sit in the one in the middle. Like, they had established it, dominated it. No one can sit there. That's where they sit. Literally like Mean Girls. And they're like, come sit with us. So I go, I'm walking over, and then a lot of people were like, oh, that's the new girl, whatever. And I go and I sit down at the popular table, and people were like looking over and stuff, and I would just like start talking to the girls that I knew from soccer, and then their friends that didn't play soccer. We were having lunch, normal conversation. So half of their friend group didn't know who I was, so I was like, hi, I'm Mia. I met them because I play soccer with them. I'm Cuban. I live only 15 minutes from the school. The normal things that you talk about when you meet someone for the first time. The girl that's basically the queen bee of the friend group, because she was, little did I know, she was actually the bitchiest, so that's why she could be the queen bee, because no one wanted to mess with her, because she really knows how to hold a grudge. Left the table and went to go like get dessert at the we sold ice cream in vending machines, so she got up to go get an ice cream in the vending machine. When she gets up, a girl leans over and is like, so you play soccer with these girls, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do play soccer. Yeah, they were telling me that you're like really, really, really good. And I was like, thank you. Like, I've been playing soccer for years, so like this is like the one thing that I really know how to do. And then they were like, so is so-and-so, aka we're gonna give a name to my fake bully. We're gonna call her like we're gonna call her Cass, because it's so different from her real name. Is Cass good at soccer? And like I said, I'm never gonna say yes if someone's terrible at soccer, but I'm never gonna be mean about it. I'm gonna be like, Cass just started playing soccer. I wouldn't say that she's like good, like as far as like very, like she's like not very good, but she just started, and honestly she's improving very quickly. I remember saying that, I'm like, she's getting better so fast. Like when she first joined, she didn't know how to even kick a ball, so she's getting better like really quickly. Soccer is not that difficult to learn the basics, especially if you really like it. And I literally remember saying that, and people were like, yeah, she did get started. So at the table they were all just like, yeah, she did get started, yeah, how long does it take to get good? So then people were asking me like, how long does it take to get good at soccer? I was like, well, it depends. Like, you know, like some people never get good at soccer because it's not like a passion of theirs and stuff. Like, you need to have the passion for it, you need to have the discipline and all of that stuff. She comes back, we're kind of like still talking about it, but whatever. She was like, yeah, I have like a lot to learn and stuff. Literally everything was okay because I didn't say anything rude. I was just being honest. And the next day in the morning, right before school, I get a text, and the text was like, don't come to the lunch table for lunch. And it was the queen bee. It was Cass. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, are you guys like not going to be there? Are you guys going to be sitting somewhere else? She was like, no, I don't want you to come sit at that table because so-and-so, aka the girl who was like asking me questions about whether or not Cass was good at soccer, told me that you were talking shit about me at the lunch table, saying that I was a really bad soccer player and that you were better and that all of this stuff. She's like, I don't appreciate people who talk shit about me. I was like, you joined the conversation. You literally saw my I was like calm and I wasn't talking shit. You just started playing soccer. You haven't even been in this team for a month. And she was like, I just don't appreciate you talking shit about me and XYZ. And I'm just like, I offended her, obviously. So I apologized and I was like, hey, like, well, I'm sorry if something that I said got taken out of context, but that doesn't mean that like we still can't be friends. If this is like a sensitive subject for you, like the next time someone asks me, I can just tell them yes and whatever, but you just started, so it's not an insult. It wasn't the smartest place to be honest behind her back. It's not that I was trying to like be honest behind her back. I've had this conversation with her too, and also I didn't stop talking about it when she came back because I didn't feel like I was doing anything bad by just being honest, to saying that she just started playing soccer. Like, I literally was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then she joined, and she came into the conversation, and then she asked what we were talking about, and I basically I said everything word for word about what I said. And then I was like, yeah, but you know what? She's learning so fast. Like, she's only been playing it for, like, 1 month, and, like, and her, like, her aim has just gotten so much better. Like, I did compliment her and stuff like that. So, whatever. She told me that I couldn't sit there anymore. And I was like, this is like the movies. I didn't think that this was real. Like this like bullying environment where it's like you can't sit with us was like an actual real thing. I didn't think that that was real because in private school, we had assigned seats at lunch. So I never experienced shit like that, right? And yeah, I couldn't sit there. So I sat alone. And that was fine. I was like, you know what? Like, I think it's kind of messed up, but like she'll just go around it. Then I get a text from a girl that I befriended. She befriended me. We befriended each other in first period. We had like a science class for first period, so we saw each other every single day. And we were slowly becoming friends at her own pace. She told me, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. So-and-so has just been talking so much shit about you to the school. She's been saying that you're a slut. Where did that come from? She's been saying that you're a slut, that you're a two-faced lying bitch, not to be friends with you because all you're gonna do is try to humiliate other people, and that you think that you're so much better than everyone else, and that all of that's like she was just basically giving me a heads up because the way that the school would talk, it was like if there was like one rumor, like you would probably be hearing people talk about this rumor in the bathroom. That week I had gone to the bathroom like twice during class, and I would hear girls walk into the stalls and literally be like, oh, so like Mia pissed Cass off and now Cass is saying this about her, that she's like a dirty slut and like all that stuff, and like now her friends can't even talk to her and stuff, and people were like, well, we don't even know Mia, like she just transferred to this school and she looks like a bitch, so maybe it's true. I'd be hearing this and I'd come out of the stall and then they would stop talking. Like that was the environment in my high school / middle school. Over a comment on soccer, she decided to ruin my entire middle school and high school experience because I said what I said during lunch, and I said it, and she just was angry that I didn't tell her that she was perfect. Like all of her friends tell her that she was perfect all the time. She was a textbook narcissist. She wanted everyone to tell her that she was perfect. So it even got to a point where she just got so pissed that boys liked me that she made up a rumor that I had slept with like the whole football team. And one of my friends from my AP English classes came up to me, who like knew me better than that because we were study buddies, and she would come over to my house to study. And she was just like, dude, I spend like every day with you studying for our English exams. There's no, like, she's saying that you slept with the entire football team. And I was like, what? That kind of bullying for a woman who is developing as far as sexuality goes. This was like end of middle school, so 8th grade and all of my high school, which I only did high school for 3 years because I graduated early. When you're developing, I mean, rumors like that now wouldn't even faze me, but I was exploring my, as far as like I was becoming a teenager and changes were happening in my body and my feelings were changing towards men. Like I was now not just like attracted to boys, but like honestly, obviously sexually attracted as well. Like I like men, so I was experiencing different things. And growing up being labeled a slut and being and people thinking that you slept with an entire football team, it changed the attitude that the boys that I liked in my school had towards me. They thought now that I was easy. So now I couldn't trust any boys, because if they were talking to me and whatever, like I had talked to a few of those boys and never was intimate with anyone in my high school. Never. That shit like never happened. I made it a point, I couldn't date in my high school anymore, and I couldn't kiss anyone in my high school, and I couldn't date and whatever, because guys would get close to me thinking that I would sleep with them, and then when I didn't want to, they would get pissed and then be like, but I heard that you slept with so-and-so, and I'm like, that's not true. And they're like, well, he has your nudes, and I'm like, that's impossible. I didn't take my first nude photo until I was in my 20s, and I'm 21. I didn't take my first nude photo until I was 20. So obviously that's probably why I have like these quote unquote daddy issues, and I in the relationships I crave stability and I crave having a stable partner, and it's because that was literally ripped from me for my entire high school experience. And I wasn't allowed to party because my parents were strict, so I didn't meet boys from other schools or nothing. The only boys that I were around was the boys in my school, and that's how they decided to treat me, because they believed this stupid rumor that I slept with everyone in my football team. I didn't do that. Because she started it. She also, she would do literally the craziest shit. I would walk by the hallway and she would talk shit about me out loud. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I can't believe that this is real. Like, people actually treat other people like this. Like, over a comment that I made in 8th grade, because like now it's already like my sophomore year of high school, and this shit's already happening. Like, this shit's still happening. I still have that stigma. She literally created an entire identity, and the school believed it. The identity of me being an easy slut who didn't respect herself, and that if you're a boy, even if you just transfer to the school and you want to get laid, why don't you just be nice to me? So a lot of boys that were coming and being nice to me and flirting with me and walking me to my class and all of that stuff, and me thinking, hey, maybe I could actually date someone from my school, they would turn to their friends and say, I'm only being nice to her so she can sleep with me because I heard that she sleeps with everyone. And I would find out, and that stuff hurts. You guys want to see my lashes? There you go. That stuff hurts, especially when you're developing and you're trying to figure out your identity. So then all of a sudden you're like not worth love, because someone else put this label on you that you're not worth love, and all you need to do is just be a little bit nice to her, and she'll put out. And it doesn't matter if you're the type of person that just wants to put out and all that. This shit's different as an adult. All of the stuff that we had, like now as an adult, it's literally sleep with whoever you want and have whatever reputation you want. You're an adult. It doesn't matter. In high school, that shit fucking mattered. So, she did that to me for the entirety of my high school experience. She did that to me for the entirety of my high school. She made me want to wake up in the morning and not go to school. So obviously I did develop a terrible depression, and she never let go until I skipped a grade, and now I was with upperclassmen, and guess what? The upperclassmen still knew about the rumors, so I was treated the same. Dude, of course my mental health was literally to shit, and it was her fault. I will say it was her fault. I didn't do shit for people to treat me like that. I wasn't mean to anyone in school. But she gave me the reputation of being mean and a slut and whatever, and no one wanted to get close to me and figure it out because they just believed it. Let me tell you a little bit more about my bully. Why don't we? I graduated high school early, obviously. Did stuff in my life became an influencer, I consider myself to be financially doing great for my age. Successful, and I'm happy because I'm sure of myself and I have tough skin. So if she wasn't my bully, I wouldn't have been able to be an influencer, because even the meanest comment that I get on my social media will never hurt me as bad as that person hurt me, and I still made it through that. That person hurt me so bad that I attempted stuff that I shouldn't have multiple times because of her. She was literally my 13th reason. I wrote notes every single time, and it was literally her. Like, that's the point. Like, literally, my parents were putting me in therapy, and I told the therapist, I'm here because of this person. And anyway, I made it through that, obviously. I'm a stronger person now, got all that stuff. But I noticed that she wasn't active on, I like to stalk her like once a year, and she hadn't been active on social media basically since high school. Like, literally hadn't posted anything on social media. So you could tell that she definitely peaked in high school and had really nothing to share, because she was still posting stories and stuff but didn't make an actual post or whatever, and I wasn't gonna look at her story and give her the satisfaction of that. So you guys want to know what she does for a living now? She works as a bottle girl at one of my ex-boyfriends who we broke up amicably. He loves me as a friend. Like, hey, how are you? How's your family and stuff? Like, I hope you're well. Just randomly thought of you. Oh, I have a girlfriend. Things are amazing. We got a dog together. It's literally like the most respectful conversation I have with this ex. Like, it's literally just like, you know, like just checking up on you because you're a good person and I haven't heard from you in a while and stuff. And his girlfriend actually knows that he checks up on me and she has no problem. I've met her. We literally broke up because we both mutually decided, because we were friends before, we both mutually decided that, like, romantically it wasn't it, and that's it. It was just more like, we actually don't like each other that way. We were just friends, and, like, we made it weird for no reason. So she works as a bottle girl at the club that he literally owns. If I were to go to the club that he owns, he would probably give me her table and any server that I choose, and cover all of my costs, and I just tip because I tip. Part of me wants to go to his club. She just started working there. Part of me really wants to go to that club. I hate being petty, and I promised myself that I would stop being petty because things from the past, I shouldn't let it control my life. But obviously it did have like some type of emotional impact on me that it's obviously changed my life forever. Part of me wants to go to the club and spend something like obscene at the club because I'm not actually paying for it, but they don't know that. And get this, you know, when you go to a club and you order like a $5,000 bottle and they bring out a massive sign and like it could say whatever you want or have like your photo on it and like the DJ shouting out your name and like confetti's coming, or at least that's how it is in Miami when you spend money on bottles. Like they make a show every single time you spend money on bottles. I want to go to that club and do some shit like that, but have her hold the sign that says something like Mia is queen or Mia is the best or some bullshit that they put on those signs. I want to do that so bad. I'm not going to say the name of the club because I don't want you to, no. I want her to hold up that sign and have to smile and look at me in the face so bad. I should do it for younger Mia. I feel like I would just like heal. Seeing her like do that, I would just have to heal. Also, she would talk shit about sluts, and I know the uniform of the bottle girls, so I'm just like, you used to make me feel like shit when my skirt was too short, and now you have to wear lingerie for work and give people bottles. Bottle girls aren't sluts, but her standard for slut was literally people who showed too much skin in high school. And now this is... Maybe she's a different person now. It could be possible that she's a different person now. But that doesn't take away from the fact that she literally was the worst person to me growing up for no reason. I'm not going to tell you which part of Miami it's in. And I actually have 2 exes that I'm cool with, and they both own clubs. So at least I covered my bases with that. You don't know which club it is. You don't know which ex it is. Like, nothing. She's not... People can change. That doesn't mean that it wouldn't be really satisfying for me to... I wouldn't do anything outwardly mean to her. I would just want her to hold a sign with my face on it and something that says you're the best, and just have it on video and send it to a few of my high school friends that really know what that bitch did to me, because they would love that shit. Yeah, so she works for my ex-boyfriend as a bottle girl in a club. And I just kind of want to show up and make her a little bit uncomfortable. I'm also friends with a lot of those bottle girls because I've gone to that club so often and stuff, and they know that I'm like the ex that's cool. And so they like working at the table because I'm not demanding or anything. I'm not creepy. Like, it's obviously going to be my own table, and I'm not going to be trying to grab their butt like some drunk male patrons are, and I tip. So there's that. Were you able to make real friends throughout that experience? Yeah, I made real friends in high school and stuff. We definitely weren't the popular kids, and there's definitely people talking shit about us because we were just a little bit artsier, a little bit nerdier. But that's good. Nerdy's good. Long live the nerds. I hope my kid's a nerd. You know what? I hope my kid was a nerd too. I hope my kid also has thick glasses like me, had braces like me, played 3 instruments like me, and the only thing that we cared about was school. The only thing I cared about were my grades. If my kid were like that, bring it on. That should be the new cool. Are you kidding me? Kids that care? That's pretty much it. Oh my god, we have so many likes. Guys, can we get to 250,000 likes for this broadcast? I've also been live for just so long. I've just been like ranting. I'm also on Adderall, but it's fine. Like, how satisfying would it be to do that to my bully? Anyway, let me let that go. It's just an idea, Mia. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just thinking about it. You don't need to be petty to your bully. You don't need to do that. How long have you been going? It's been 1 hour for me. I started at 11 something. I started at like 11:45. Anyway, incredible. She deserves it. Younger her deserves it. I would just hate to treat her like that and her genuinely be like a changed person. Also, what if I just like show up to the club and she comes up to me and apologizes? That could be something that happens too. Like, what if I come into this club with this diabolical plan to make her feel as small as she made me feel for my high school experience? Just need to drink some water. And what if she were to come up to me? She knows what she did is wrong. She knows it. She told me one time that she knows what she did is wrong. And I'm not just saying that for this live stream. Also, don't mind this. I have a cookbook and I was learning how to cook some recipes, and some things got burnt and the smoke went into the air and my fire alarm almost went off, and I found out that if you do this, the fire alarm won't go off. So I cooked yesterday, so I put that shit back on, and my boyfriend's not here for him to take it off because he's the only one that reaches it. What is done is done. Yeah, that's someone a lot more mature than me would say. So people say heal your inner child. My inner child would have been so good if it wasn't for this person. Do it in a humble way. Mia, get in character while you rant. If you guys want me to be in character, I can. That's easy. How to stand up. You can still do it and be classy about it. Oh, I'll be like, I go to the club and I drink wine. I have them bring out like a bottle of like Cabernet. I like Cabernet. I don't like any like really other of the, unless it's like Paso Robles or like something else, whatever. So like I'll like do it with like a bottle of wine, not vodka, not tequila, not anything, wine. And then it's me and my friends at the table at the club listening to like trap music, but we're there with like glass, holding it by the stem. I'm holding, my hands are sweaty right now though, so I'm gonna hold it by the bowl. And we're drinking wine. We're getting ratchet, but we look classy while we're getting ratchet. Do you think any of her friends are watching? I actually checked her following, and her entire high school clique, she doesn't follow them anymore, and they don't follow her. Some of her high school cliques still follow each other, but definitely something happened when I already left the school that she doesn't have any of those friends anymore. So maybe she did change because she had to learn the hard way and lost all of the friends that she had in high school. That entire clique fell apart. They don't hang out. They were inseparable too. The family vacations, all that stuff, and they do not hang out. Bring the sugar daddies with you. The owner of the club is an ex-boyfriend of mine who still does super nice things for me because he loves me as a friend. We're not even, so it's like, oh, how much more sugar daddy can we get, huh? And your boss. I can also have her fired. He would definitely fire her if I asked him to. But like I said, doesn't matter the problem that you have with someone, never go after their job. Never go after their income, because I don't know what she's going through. I don't know if financially someone depends off of her, if she got cut off financially, if she's just out here trying to make it. No matter how bad someone did me, I'll never go after their job. It's just nice to know that I have the power to be able to get her fired. Went after their jobs. Do you think your boyfriend would be okay with that? With me going to my ex-boyfriend's club? Yeah, because he doesn't even go to his own club. It's literally more like I send a text and he literally tells me to bring my boyfriends. Anyone, he's like, if you're dating someone, like bring them, like I'll tell the bouncers to be cool with like every 6 people coming into the door. Like it's like literally not awkward. They could probably say hi to each other. We were only together for a month. We were friends for like 6 months before that, but we were only together for a month, and then we mutually broke up because we were not we realized that we were not like into each other like that. Boyfriend. My boyfriend can pay for the table, but if something is free, I like free things. Everyone likes free things. Why would you go to a club if you got a boyfriend though? Because I don't live in Miami anymore. Miami's my home. And I like to go out with my friends after dinner because that's Miami culture. We go to dinner at 9 p.m. and somewhere around midnight to 1 in the morning, you go do a nice club bar situation until like 4 in the morning, and then you come home. That is the weekends in Miami. That's the culture in Miami. So that's the culture. What country is this club? America, the United States, Miami, Florida. What's my zodiac sign? I'm a Taurus. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this broadcast. Thank you guys so much for the turn up. We had such a good turnout. If I go live tomorrow, I'm gonna go live a little bit later because I do have a flight tomorrow morning, and then I get to Miami around like 11 something, and I'll probably have to say hi to my parents and do that whole thing before I can sit down in my studio in Miami, which is my old bedroom in my parents' house. I just took the bed out and turned it into like a little studio in case I visit them and I need to work. And I'll do like another chit chat situation and stuff and talk to you a little bit about my plans in Miami and like what I'm gonna do and like just No, you didn't get 250,000. Well, come on, guys. Let's get everyone like it up. Liking is free. Let's like it up and let's get to 250,000 likes. And then, and I'll be following back the top gifters of this broadcast as a thank you for just, giving me your hard-earned, some people just give me a hard-earned dollar, one of their hard-earned dollars, just as a thank you. I'm thankful. You don't have to do that. I'm just glad that I had people sitting with me and chatting with me, and we can just, have each other's backs and like have like this get ready with me and like be besties and all of that stuff. So just know that you don't have to gift anything. Really, I love you guys regardless. Just being here is what I love, and I thank you that you guys are here. And I thank you guys for joining me, and thank you guys for getting me to 250,000 likes. I love you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next live. We are back to doing our regular lives. Tomorrow, expected a little bit later, but we're going to be going live every single day of the weekday, just doing hot girl shit. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.